You're not even crazy for asking, what do I do with my money?
Hello, I am calling because I have a question. My name is Norma.
Here's one thing I really want to say up front, and hear me when I say this, right? Don't invest emotionally. So you may be nervous, or maybe but you're not stuck. You may be older, but it's not too late, all right? This is where many of us mess up, all right? Thinking debt is the shortcut to wealth. But here's the truth, it's a trap. But now let's talk about your next chapter. I want to talk about that because the chapter can still include owning a home. This next chapter can still include building even more wealth. Here's number 3 that we don't hear a lot of people talk about, especially influencers. I want you to shift your focus from accumulating to... Man, I don't know about y'all, but man, I want freedom. What's going on, family? Yo, listen, man, I'm genuinely excited to introduce this impactful new segment we're launching today. One that is specifically all about you. Yes, we're talking about, I am opening up the phone lines to take your calls, to answer your money questions, and walk alongside you on your financial journey with real-time practical advice. You know, earlier this year, God really convicted me, and we have a new, bold, but super clear vision. And that is by 2053, we as a family within our E3 community aim to eliminate $1 billion in consumer debt and build $500 million in wealth, specifically within the Black and brown minority communities. Now, I'm not neglecting any Caucasian people. You could be a part of this journey and we will add that in there, but we want to specifically impact my brothers and sisters in that kind of way. And I truly believe that we're going to do it, right? This is why I'm back in school, because if we're going to do this, I got to be better educated. I need to mature in the area of finances if we're going to accomplish this goal, which I believe we are, right? But it starts with equipping you with the knowledge and tools to make wise financial decisions day by day, step by step. All right. So let's talk about the current economic landscape. You see, in 2025, Americans are feeling the pressure. Inflation continues to stretch household budgets specifically, and many people are struggling to keep up as their income lags behind the rising costs. On top of that, newly implemented tariffs have stirred the economic uncertainty and impacting everything from job security to the price of everyday goods to even our small business owners. So these challenges highlight exactly why financial literacy and proactive money management matters more than ever, right? And that's why this segment, every single Wednesday, we're going to be taking your calls, your real life questions and situations, and I'll provide you very basic, actionable advice on what you need to do to navigate through these, I can't say tough times, because some of us are not in a tough times, but through these tough times and just through life in general. So I want you to call in. I want you to ask your questions, and let's build a community together that thrives well beyond 2053. All you gotta do, ask your questions, give me a call at 771-224-8131. Again, that is 771-224-8131. Now, please, make sure your question is below 1 minute long, or my team will have to cut it up. Just tell me your name, give me your first name, give me the city you're calling from, and go straight into the question. All right, I want to get to the very first question, and I believe her name is Norma. Let's take a listen.
Hello, I am calling because I have a question. My name is Norma. I'm calling from Wisconsin, and I just needed to find out when someone is ready to retire and they have money. I don't know. I've seen you put like get a certified financial planner. You hear other people say put it in a brokerage firm. Like, how do we know where we're supposed to put our money? I'm in a dilemma right now because I don't know what to do because I'm hearing from all different people, and I know that you're very you're very considerate of the older aged people. And I just needed to know, like, where is the best place to do that? Thank you. Bye.
All right, let me say this before we dive in, Norma. Thank you for being the first caller that we're doing this with, first off. But if you're getting close to retirement, right, and you've got some money saved, but you feel nervous, you feel confused, or even behind, Norma, honestly, and even to the people who are watching, you're not alone. All right. You're not alone. And let me say this too. You're not even crazy for asking, what do I do with my money? You're not crazy for asking, where do I put it? Who can I trust? Because I honestly get it, right? You're hearing all kinds of opinions on today's days, in today's world, right? People are saying put it in real estate. Some people are saying put it all in the market. Some people are saying nah, just keep it in the keep it cash and keep it in your savings account. But what you really want is a clear step-by-step plan rooted in wisdom and peace. You know, Norma, you're one of the main reasons why I went back to school, because I know money, but I wanted to make sure that I get the education for two main reasons. One, to mature, to grow. Two, is to make sure I'm answering these questions correctly, right? So I want to start with some facts. You know, I've learned this in school. You got to start with some facts and lay it all the way out. According to Northwestern Mutual in 2024 Planning and Progress study, the average American has only about $88,000, roughly $500 saved for retirement. But when you break it down by age group, specifically, I'm going to say an estimate that you're going to be in between the ages of 60 and 69, because you sound young, right? They only have about $112,000 on average inside of their retirement savings account. Nearly 1 in 5 retirees rely entirely on Social Security as their main source of income. So, from the very beginning, Norma, if you've got savings, a pension, and investments, first of all, you're ahead of the average person. But more importantly, it means you have something worth protecting and stewarding. So I want to give you a basic game plan of what I would do if I was in your shoes, right? Number one, I would get you a foundation. I would get your foundation in order first, right? So before you move money around, before you start placing things all the way over, there's a couple of things, the foundation that needs to be laid. Number one, are you 100% consumer debt free? No credit cards, no car notes, no lingering loans, no store cards, right? Are you 100% consumer debt free? Especially in this age of your life, you shouldn't be having to pay anything outside of a mortgage. Number two, do you have 6 to 12 months of your net pay saved in a high yield savings account like a SoFi? And this is a very, very important, because this is different from your pension. This is different from your retirement funds, right? This is, in your case, at your age right now, because your expenses should be low. I'm cool with you having 6 months. If you want to stretch it to 12 months, totally cool with that. I have 12 months, but I'm cool with you at 6 months of your average net take-home pay of what you're getting right now, set aside in your SoFi high yield savings account. All right. Then after you have that, I want to ask you this very basic question. Do you have a written retirement budget so you can know exactly what your monthly life looks like? So when you transition into retirement, okay, what's my mortgage? If you have a mortgage, what's my average utility bills? What does my life look at? So when I get into retirement age, I know on a monthly basis that I'm going to be spending X amount of dollars every single month to live, to survive, and to enjoy life. So on your budget, you should have everything. If you get your hair done once a month, if you get your nails done once a month, if you love to go see your grandchildren, if you have grandchildren, if you love to go see your kids, if you have kids, like, you list every single thing down. So now you know how to budget transitioning into retirement. Here's one thing I really, really, really want to say up front, and hear me when I say this, right? Don't invest emotionally. All right. I want you to build a foundation that gives you peace, not panic. And this goes to everyone watching who is a little bit older. Don't invest more because you're panicking because you're getting closer to the age of retirement, quote unquote. No. Which leads me to the number two thing I really want you to do. Sit down with a fee-based financial advisor. Not someone who's trying to sell you everything. I need you to sit down with a real professional like my financial advisor in Jamaica, and I'll put her information inside of today's show notes because she's fee-based. She's going to charge you a particular fee, and she gets paid to advise you based upon the fee that you paid her, not off of commission of the products or a percentage of what you invest. No. Fee-based financial advisors you pay them up front. Hey, I'm gonna pay you X amount of dollars to advise me financially. This is where you bring in someone who can help you answer. Watch this. Do I have enough to retire? This is a question that you got to start having a conversation. Hey, do I have enough to retire? And the only way you're going to know if you have enough to retire is you go back and look at your budget and see how much you're spending on a average month, multiply that by 12, multiply that number of 12 by 30 years. Do I have enough invested to retire? Once you do that, that's a question you got to know. The next question is, okay, if I have pensions, if I have this, how long will my money last? Again, that's going back to the budget. Remember, everything starts on the foundation. Everything starts on the foundation because these questions are going to be based on how true and honest and raw you're answering these questions. What's the best way to protect and grow my money? Because while you're in a retirement stage, you still want to have money growing. Because what if God blesses you to live past 30 years? Okay, wait a minute. What happened on year 31? You're going to need some money. You know, you got to really identify someone who can walk you through the plan. I can't give you a detailed plan because I don't have detailed facts in front of me about your life. But I want to give you a general roadmap, which is my number 3 point for you. Number 1, set aside 6 months of your net pay into a safe, liquid, high yield savings account like SoFi. We're going to drop SoFi's information inside of today's show notes. Put that money inside of that account now. That's for everybody. All right. Up underneath that as well, I want you to start looking into tax advantage accounts. These are your accounts like a Roth IRA, a 401k, a traditional IRA, whatever makes the most sense for your tax situation. But also make sure that when you sit down with a financial planner or financial advisor like in Jamaica, make sure that you ask these questions. Okay, I have a Roth IRA. Okay, I have a mutual fund, but what's inside of the mutual funds? What's inside of the Roth IRA? What am I investing into this account? Because what tends to happen is people will go open up a Roth IRA and the money's just sitting there and it's not growing because you didn't invest that into anything. So your mutual funds and your bonds, I want you to keep those balanced per se. Income generating options with lower risk because you are of age. So I want you to put money into those accounts, but make sure that it is at a lower risk. And again, your financial advisor can help you with that. But please hear me clearly. This is everyone. I do not want you investing into a mutual fund and you don't know what your fund is actually invested in. No. Let me get back to Norma. All right. Norma, you can also look into real estate. Now, this is optional. And I'll say this, only if you have extra cash to do so and you want to create passive income. This is not a rescue plan. This is just, an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, depending on where you are, that could be generated for you, which could be extra income. And it's also, which goes into my next thing, legacy. If you have the basics covered, I want you to start thinking about your legacy. What legacy are you leaving behind? Do you have the right life insurance policy? Do you have a trust? Do you have a giving plan? Do you have homes that you want to pass down? I want you to start thinking about legacy. What's the key here? Keep it simple, keep it safe, and be a good steward of the funds. And here's the last thing that I really want to say to you, Norma, and we'll go on to the next question. I need you to set up your estate plan, like right now, okay? Let's be real. You're getting older, and that's not a bad thing at all. But it does mean you need to protect your legacy. And I say this with love, and this is a conversation that we don't really like hearing. So I need you to get a will. I need you to get a revocable trust. I need you to get a power of attorney for your finances. I need you to get a healthcare directive. And I need you to have clear instructions inside of your trust on all of your major assets. Hear me clearly, Norma. I don't want you or any of us who are of age watching right now to leave our families confused, divided, or in probate court. Let's leave them with peace and a clear plan. And everything that you're doing right now will be just that. So you may be nervous, Norma, but you're not stuck. You may be older, but it's not too late, all right? You worked hard to build what you have. Now, it's time to make sure that money serves you for the rest of your life and blesses those who come after you, all right? So, love you. Thank you so much for giving us a call.
All right, fam, let's have a heart-to-heart. You all know that I'm all about helping you get your money. But let me ask you this question. How's your credit report looking? And if you're being honest and you're saying, Ayo, I need some help, well, listen, I got something for you. Listen, I know credit can feel like this big, confusing thing, but with Kickoff, it doesn't have to be. They've designed a super simple, affordable way to help you build your credit, whether you're just starting out or need to bounce back from a rough patch. Here's how it works. Kickoff reports to the major credit bureaus to help you establish a positive credit history. And you can get started for as little as $5 a month. No credit check, no crazy interest fees at all, no hidden fees, just a straightforward way to improve your financial standing. And here's why it matters the most, because it is not just about a number, it is about financial freedom and doors opening up for you. Do you want that dream apartment? Do you want lower car insurance and even better job prospects? It all starts with making sure you have a good credit profile. So don't wait. Head over to AnthonyONeal.com/kickoff. That's AnthonyONeal.com/KIKOFF and start your first month for just as little as $1. Listen, it's AnthonyONeal.com/kickoff, KIKOFF. You get it for $1. Let's get you some lower rates, especially in 2025.
Let's go to the next question. I think we have another question by Val, I think. Let's check it out.
Hello, my name is Valerie Ingram, and I have a question about my home. I'm currently in debt, but I only owe $68,000 on my house. I do want to use it as collateral for my business, and possibly I have an EIN number. It's been established for a year. I want to do $100,000 loan in order to pay out the $68,000 for my house, and then I can actually rent out my house for at least $1,800. The 15-year on that is 5.93. A 30-year is 6.1. So I'm just wondering if I can do this, how can I do this, and how I go about working this out. My name is Valerie Ingram, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Wow. This is a loaded question. And I want to unpack this one because this is where many of us mess up. All right. Thinking debt is the shortcut to wealth. But here's the truth. It's a trap. So Val, all right, let's break this down. I'm doing the math in my head, so flow with me. I should have had a pen and paper in here, but I'm doing it on my head. You owe $68,000 on a home, okay? That's manageable. And you're trying to turn that into a rental. which could be a solid wealth move, because I'm sure if you owe $68,000, it's worth more than $68,000. But it's not a solid wealth move if you're using a business loan to pay off the house. Follow me? I know you're probably saying why. Here's why. Because now your business is carrying $100,000 of new debt. And that debt isn't even all being used to grow the business. You're using it to pay off your mortgage. And in my personal opinion, that is completely dangerous. And I would think that is an unwise move. You just turned a steady, predictable personal asset into a risk, volatile business expense. If the business fails, if revenue drops, if the market shifts like we've been seeing in 2025, now you've got debt, no income, and no peace. And let me tell you, there's no wealth without peace. This ties into why we're doing what we're doing here at the table and within our E3 community. I told you all before, and I'm gonna keep saying this, within our community. I want to drive our mission statement within our community. If you call yourself an E3 member, if you're evolving in the areas of wellness, freedom, and what else? How do I say this? How do I say this? I'm even including family into this now. Because our new mission by 2053 is important, because experts are saying that Black Americans will have 0 to negative net worth. 0. And I refuse to have anybody within my E3 community. That's not going to happen on my watch. And that's why our mission is completely bold right now. Because we're going to help eradicate $1 billion in consumer debt and help our community build $500 million in wealth by 2050. This is why I don't play when it comes to teaching this stuff. And this is why I have this decision. Because society is set up to keep us living paycheck to paycheck. Society makes us believe that, having debt is the right thing to do. This is not what it's about. It's not. So if I'm you, Val, here's what I'm doing. I'm paying off the $68,000 in debt by just putting more money onto that account. Or you can go rent an apartment, or you can go buy another house. I'm cool with this. And if you can rent it out for $1,800 a month, like you said in the call, then just go ahead and have someone move in there and pay it off for you. But do not borrow money on your business. Do not take out a loan on your business. Figure out a way to cash flow it. I was at a conference and one of my friends, not one of my friends, but I was at one of my friends' church, and the guy asked me, he said, man, how do I get funding for my business? And I think that sometimes to me, while I understand the importance of getting funding with certain businesses, but why do we ask that question first? Why is our very first thing is, when I launch a business, how do I take on debt? Because if you're not profiting any freaking money, why do you want to go borrow money and you already got a bill and you don't have any steady income coming in yet? No. I built this business off of cash. If I had to shut down everything, I can sell all this stuff in here and make money. We have freedom. Now, my thought processes are changing a little bit when it comes to debt on the business side of things. It is changing a little bit. But the very first question that I'm asking myself is, one, do I have a good product? Do I have a good service? Do I have a business that is fulfilling people's needs, wants, or desires? Do I have a clientele? Do I have income coming in? Not, let me go borrow $100,000, pay off my house at $68,000, which leaves me about $32,000 that I can use to go towards a business. No. Is let me sit down with a business coach. Let me sit down with a product coach who can help me understand if this product makes sense. Let me do some research and see, is this product needed? And let me see, can I make some money? As a matter of fact, for the next 90 days, I ain't borrowing nothing. Let me go sell the product the product and or service that I have. Let me make some money. And then any extra money, I'm going to use that to go pay off my mortgage, or I'm gonna put someone inside of my home and let them pay it off. But Val, I'm not going to borrow money, $100,000, put myself into $32,000 more of debt for a company that I do not know if it's going to work. Now, if that flops, my house is attached to that, and I am pissed because now my home is up for grabs because I defaulted on a loan. Okay. No. I'm sorry. You can't do that, Val. I'm so sorry. You cannot do that. Don't do it. I love you. I love you. Let's go to the next question. I think her name is Michelle. Let's check it out.
Hi, Anthony. My name is Michelle. I'm calling from Michigan. I was calling you because I had a question. I am 61 and a half years old. I am a retired government employee. Have a great pension. I have great savings, investments. Recently divorced over the past 4 years. Daughter's finishing college, and now I don't know if I'm too old to buy a home. I've been renting since my divorce of 4 years. Didn't want to buy anything at the time, and I'm still kind of on the fence. So if you can give me any advice, that would be greatly appreciated, and I look forward to hearing if you select my question on your show. Thanks again. Bye.
Michelle, let me say this clearly to you, my friend. It's a good question. You are not too old. Okay? Let me just start right there. All right? You're almost 20 years older than me. At 61, you still got purpose, you still have power, and you still have options. Don't let your age talk you out of building what God still wants to do through you. No. No, heck no. What? Heck no. You've already done some amazing things. You retired from the government. You got a strong pension. You've got savings. You have investments. And you supported your daughter through college and a divorce. That's a legacy right there. You are already winning. But now let's talk about your next chapter. I want to talk about that because the chapter can still include owning a home. This next chapter can still include building even more wealth. But here's what I really get excited about. Your next chapter can still be walking an amazing, abundantly peace. Bad grammar, but you can have an abundant life. So here's what I would tell you. Number one, yes, you can still buy a home, and I would encourage you to buy a home. My only suggestion, we'll make it a short-term loan. If you don't already own a home, which you said you don't, and you're thinking about buying, I want you to absolutely go out there and get you a home. Now you got a couple options. You can pay cash for it, but if you don't have the cash, you can take out a loan. Now, a 30-year loan is going to give you a smaller payment. But I think at your season of life, I would recommend doing a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. Now, why, Anthony? Because I want you to eventually own it outright, well before you hit 76 years old, well before, and actually enjoy life without having any payments and or debt. I want you living in peace. I don't want you getting to your older years, your I would call them your seasoned years, paying off loans. I don't want you to transition to heaven still in debt. I don't want you working hard for the rest of your life until the day you die, you're paying debt. Man, I don't know about y'all, but man, I want freedom. On those last years, man, I don't want money to be a issue. I want to come home and I ain't gotta pay nothing but the electricity bill, my utility bills, and my health bills. Nothing else. I don't want my house to be at jeopardy. I don't want my cars to be at jeopardy. No, I want to enjoy it. So please get you a home. Get you a home. Do that. Enjoy life. But here's the second thing I will tell you. Only invest more if you have no debt and your emergency fund is solid. Oftentimes what I see this older generation, 60, 70-year-olds do, man, they'll go hard in investing because they want money for retirement. But then they're drowning. They still got a car note. They still got student loans. They still have some credit cards. I'm like, wait. The moment that you pay off that debt, you honestly get a return on income because now you have more money staying in your account and you're not paying any interest. So that's just like you getting a return on an investment because your return over there was, hey, I'm not paying out $500 a month or $1,000 a month anymore. That's $500 to $1,000 back in my account. Now I can live off of that. Now I could put that towards my mortgage if I have a mortgage. Now I could put that towards investments. You see, if you're debt free and you got at least 6 months of expenses saved up, go ahead and keep investing. Especially if you're not touching that money for the next 10 plus years, man, you're still young enough to let compound interest do its thing for you. Just don't overextend yourself. Peace over pressure is my thing always. When I talk to this older generation, I want you to have peace. Here's number 3 that we don't hear a lot of people talk about, especially influencers. I want you to shift your focus from accumulating to preservation and purpose. You see, at 61, your mission shouldn't be about stacking more. Right now, at this season in your life, it should be about, okay, how do I protect what I've already built and putting it to use in ways that align with your values, my values. That could mean buying a modest home with cash. That could mean buying a regular size home and paying it off in 15 to 30 years, depending on what you want to do. This could also mean, watch this, helping your daughter build financially out of college with boundaries. This could also mean that you maybe you give more to your local church if you're a Christian. And if you're not into the church world, maybe it just means you're just giving generously to the needy people. What about this? At 61, maybe starting a small business. If you're in the church world, maybe starting a small group at your local church. But it definitely includes opening up a trust for the next generation, for your children's children. Right now, you got to figure out what aligns well with your vision and mission. It's not really about how to make more money. No, how do we use the tool, which is money, to generate some more money? But how do we use that tool to align with our vision and values? Here's the last thing I would tell you. Don't make big financial decisions based on emotional or rage. You might be feeling like time is running out, but I promise you, it's not. There still is time. What you need right now is a clear plan, not pressure. You've got margin, and margin is what we use to build wealth. You've got the wisdom. You have the education. And now you have a little bit of freedom to make decisions that bring peace instead of for stress. And I would end with this. And this is for anyone and everyone watching today's show. Everyone needs an estate plan. And if you don't have one at 61, listen, I want to say this. I love you. And I'm saying this with love, with honor, and with truth. You're getting older. And the most loving thing we can do for our loved ones, for your daughter and your family and our families, that's to put an estate plan into place. That's what getting with an attorney and literally drafting up a will, a revocable trust, a health care directives, a power of attorney, and clear instructions of what you would like to do with the wealth that you're going to be passing down to them. I said this earlier, right? Let's not leave our families confused or in conflict. Let's leave them with peace. That's a real legacy. When your family can say, you know what? My mom, my grandmother, my father, my grandfather, my husband, my wife left me with peace. That's important. So here's what I would do with you if I were you, right? I would sit down with a qualified financial advisor who works with retirees. I would get a full picture of your income, assets, and goals. If you're buying a home, just make sure that it fits inside of your lifestyle and you're not stressing yourself out. Make sure you have that 3 to 6 months or 6 months to 12 months inside of good high yield savings, and start thinking about, what do you want your legacy to be? Okay. What do you want your legacy to be? And how do you get there? Listen, y'all, those are the questions for today. Listen, we're going to be doing this every single Wednesday. Man, I love these questions, and I'm spending time to listen to them and to make sure that I answer them straightforward and make sure that they're inspirational, but yet practical. So I'm going to put the number inside of the show notes. We're actually going to have this number inside of all of our show notes now moving forward. So please give us a call. Leave us your question. Leave us your name, the city and state you're calling from, and your question. Please keep that within 1 minute so that way we can come on here. And our goal is to answer 3 to 5 questions every single day. And make sure you come back and you listen, because you never know, you may hear something you can relate to. So we're going to be doing this because, again, we want to make sure that we're hitting this goal by 2050. All right. So give us a call, and I'll see you on the next show. Peace out.